So welcome to part 2 for Unit 2, Section 1. We're going to continue on the notes talking about the difference between iconic and symbolic signs. So iconic signs are signs that resemble the meaning behind the sign. And for example, that would be like the sign book. It looks like a book. It looks like the two leaves of a page opening. Symbolic, which are non-iconic signs, are signs that have just come to have that meaning associated with them over time, but there's no real reason behind it. There's no obvious reason why that word is signed that way. For example, not. There's no reason why a thumb under your chin is the sign for not. So, most signs are not iconic, which can be surprising to beginning signers because you've been learning a lot of pretty standard, common, iconic signs. But as your language skills progress, you'll be learning more and more symbolic signs. So, we're going to learn some signs that are iconic. For the example, the sign for door looks like a door opening and closing. The sign for open door twists around, and closed door closes back together. Closed door. They can both move. Close the door. Lights on. So the sign for light, that the light on, the light comes down. Lights off, the light gets sucked back up. So here are some signs that all use this hand shape as a one representing the legs of a person. So somebody just standing there, to get up or to stand up, to jump, and to sit down. So all of these are signs that are using this same hand shape to represent a person's legs. So some people believe that ASL is just gestures, like the sign don't do that. But using gestures or having gestures doesn't mean that ASL is less of a language than English, which also uses gestures. Hearing people already know this gesture. So there are signs that are gestures that ASL and English have in common, but if ASL was just gestures, then everyone would be able to understand it, and that is just not true. All right. Our last thing to learn in this section is the numbers 11 through 20. So we start with our palm back and we flick one up. We brush it along my thumb. 11. 12 is the same thing with 2, brushing along my thumb. 12. 13 taps down. 14 taps down with my fingers together. 15 taps down with my fingers together. Now, 16 through 19, there are 2 different ways of signing it. 10 and 6, 10 to 7, 10 and 8, 10 and 9. That's the more formal way. There's an informal way, which is just twisting 6, twist 7, twist 8, and twist 9. Either way, you sign 20 this way. So I'm going to go through this again real quick. We have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 or 16, 17 or 17, 18 and 18, 19 and 19. And 20, like almost all of the 20s, will be signed with this for 2. There are still 2 fingers, but they're these 2 fingers. And we're making a little 0 on the side, so 20. Those numbers I showed you that have those 2 different options. Whichever one you remember and is easiest for you to sign, go with that, but just know that those are both correct ways to sign that. So there is a lot more practice that you can do and a lot more information in the notes, so I encourage you to go ahead and read through those, but that's all that you need to know related to sign language for this section.